kid in the candy store with the leather on the denim. I ain't the cure, I'm the venom. If you wanna find me, find the taillight. Something's coming in, you're gonna wanna take a red eye. It's time to go. It's time to go. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Magandang araw, magandang gabi. Saan mang parte ng mundo kayo naroroon. Ito po inyong lingkod, ang Maestro Ado Paglinawan, na nagpupugay na naman ng isang maligayang pagbati. parang birthday nyo ngayon. Mabigat po ang ating topic ngayong araw na ito. Ha? At ang bigat nito ay nasa title slide natin. Ha? Baka kayo magulat, huwag kayo masyadong lalapit, baka kayo makagat. Ito po ang slide, title slide natin. Congress of Baboons. Ha? Kung bakit ang Pogo investigasyon ay na lihis ng landas mga kabansa. Ayan po, Congress of Baboons. Alam po ninyo, I am already over 60 years, no? Obvious ba? Watching Congress, ang aking pong Congress Watch, no? Alam po ninyo, nung ako'y high school pa lamang, ako'y managing editor na ng Cub Recorder, no po? Yung po yung high school newspaper namin sa San Beda. At mula nung 60s, yan. At nung ako'y graduate sa college, ako naman naging editor din ng The Bedan, yung pong pang level kolehiyo, no? At noon po I was being mentored by Jose Cambao and his wife Josefina Jo David, na kapitbahay po namin sa Mandaluyong, no? At yun ang nagbigay sa akin ng kumpiyansa para i-cover ang Congress for this high school and college newspaper as I was studying. And maglalakad po ako mula sa Beda sa Mindiola, no? Papuntang Legislative Building sa Padre Purgos. Nandun lamang po yun sa harap ng, sa gilid ng Manila City Hall, sa kabilang dako, no? Westward of the Manila City Hall. At doon po, panunuorin ko ang mga, prestigyosong mga senador. Ayan. Sina Lorenzo Tañada, sina Jose Diokno, Emmanuel Pelaez, Arturo Tolentino, Jovito Salonga, Ambrosio Padilla, Soc Rodrigo, Maria Katigbak, Eva Estrada, Raul Banglapus, Helena Benitez, at Ferdinand Marcos. Ayan po, senior, na naging Senate President bago siya maging Presidente ng Pilipinas. Meron pa nga akong hindi na isama dito, no? Si Salvador Laurel, si Doy Laurel, no? At nako, hinihimay po nila ang mga issue. Wala kayong maitatapon. Ang sikreto po kasi noon, dalawa lamang ang partido, nasyonalista at liberal. At bawat partido ay nagte-train ng mga lideres paakyat. Paakyat ho ang training. Ngayon, with the multi-party system, ang training horizontal. Mapapatunayan natin ngayon na why we have a Congress of Baboons. Dito po kasi sa Kaya noon, yung mga malalaking tao na yan, dahil ako nagko-cover ng Congress at Senado, naiimbitahan ko yung mga yan. Malimit akong sinusundo niyan sa opisina ng Daily Mirror sa Congress, sa press office. Di nahadaanan ako nitong mga senador at they were picking my young brain. So anyway, mga kabansa, ito raw mga baboons are the loudest, most dangerous, most obnoxious, most viciously aggressive, and least intelligent of all primates. According sa isang email na kumalat sa American Nurse Journal. No? Pero meron pong isang Eugene Emery Jr. Who posted na baka daw hindi totoo yan. No? It's not true, sabi niya. I checked it out at the Providence Journal PolitiFact website, to be sure, and my hopes were crushed. They consulted several experts and found that the president of the Dictionary Society of North America, Orrin Hargraves, could find no evidence that Congress is the correct term. Ayan. So semantically, mali pala mga kabansa yung common usage. No? Apparently, sabi ni Hargraves sa PolitiFact, apparently somebody just made it up. It has the ring of truthiness, and so people liked it. They do behave like a caricature of baboons, but I think real baboons probably, sabi ni Hargraves, behave a lot better. So, sinulat ni Emery. Can you imagine a Congress of baboons? This is how our Congress would look like. Hargraves was correct, sabi ni Emery. Baboons apparently behave far better than most humans, especially those in Congress. Tapos sa mapa. So, PolitiFact asked two anthropologists who really know baboons. Shirley Strum, director of the Uwaso Nigiro Baboon Project in Nairobi, Kenya, and Larissa Swedel, who studies primates in Ethiopia and South Africa. Both said the correct term for a group of baboons is not Congress, but a troop of baboons. Sabi ni Swedel, I never heard the term Congress used for a group of baboons. Sabi niya sa email niya. At nag-reply naman si Strum, I would prefer to be governed by baboons. Wow! Than the current Congress. Sabi niya. However, baboons are more socially committed, abide by the golden rule, and are generally nicer people. Si Swedel naman also disputed yung chain email description of baboons. Least intelligent? No way, sabi niya. Among monkeys, baboons are pretty smart. No? Sa mga tropa daw ng mga unggoy, mga kabansa. Baboons, medyo smarte, matalino. Baboons are socially sophisticated. Among primates, sabi ni Strum, dugtong ni Strum, no species is as dangerous as humans. Wow! Oh my God! The discussion morphed into far worse implication in asserting that the chainmail was wrong. Eugene Emery concluded, we can find some consolation in the fact that the experts agree on one thing. Being governed by this Congress is worse than being governed by baboons. Mga kabansa. Wala tayong laughter dito. Wala tayong laughter. Okay. So, why am I bringing out this anecdote in application to the Philippine setting? Ito ho, ilalahad ko sa ito. Noong Mayo 6, si Senator Win Gatchalian wants an inquiry into the growing presence of foreign nationals in upscale gated subdivisions suspected to be working for Philippine offshore gaming operators na pinaltan na ngayon ng pag-call na tinatawag ng internet gaming licensees. Pareho pa rin yan. Pogo pa rin yan. That offer and participate in offshore gaming services by providing games to players, taking bets, and paying the winning players. Ang diferensya po nito, offshore. Ang mga tumataya dito ay wala sa Pilipinas. Kasi kung meron din dito sa Pilipinas, magkukumpit, mga kabansa, magkukumpit sila sa mga casinos. And the casino operators don't want that. Gatchalian has been advocating for the termination of the POGO operations in the country, saying that the social costs allowing them to continue operations in the country far outweigh any economic gains derived from the industry. Ayan. Derived from the industry. Ayan. I find it important to mention at this juncture, however, ladies and gentlemen, that much have been said in the Philippines about China being the promoter of this controversial online gaming. Let us set the record straight. To accusing Chinese nationals working in POGOs as part of China's alleged gray zone and Trojan horse espionage infiltration strategy into the Philippines na intriga po ng Estados Unidos. Quite the contrary. Quite the contrary. POGOs are outlawed, no? Mga kabansa. POGOs are outlawed in China in all levels of bureaucracy. Mula sa embassy, ito po, dito sa picture, sa slide, no? Makikita nyo rito, itong POGO na ni-raid sa, let us show the slide, Ber. Yung POGO na ni-raid sa Bamban Tarlac. Can you imagine look at the facility, no? Pero, from its embassy in the Philippines to the foreign ministry to President Xi Jinping, even in the conversation ni Xi Jinping kay Presidente Duterte, we have been repeatedly told to shut down the industry. The ethic the Chinese government promotes is towards honest work as opposed to gaming, mga kabansa. No? Ito ho, pakinggan natin ang video patungkol dito sa plano ni Gatchalian.
To outlaw Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGOs, following the industry's links to various forms of crimes and the outweighing of economic costs over benefits. On Tuesday, May 21, Gatchalian filed Senate Bill 2689, seeking to repeal the taxability of POGOs provided by Republic Act 11590, the only law that acknowledges and legitimizes POGO operations in the Philippines. Gatchalian explains its main goal is ultimately to outlaw and prohibit offshore gaming operations in the Philippines. Then President Rodrigo Duterte signed RA 11590 into law in 2021, often citing the economic benefits of allowing POGOs in the country. Over the years, law enforcement conducted raids of POGOs suspected of conducting human trafficking, cyber scam operations, and other crimes.
Marami po kasi mga krimen na nag-engender from the POGO, no? Nandiyan na yung mga false promises of a high pay, illegal recruitment, human trafficking, kidnap or ransom, homicide, illegal detention, swindling, torture, prostitution. At para mga organisasyon ay parang mafia by itself, no? Malaki kasi yung pera ang involved. Meron din mga crime against the public, no, at large. Nandiyan na yung online scams, frauds, money laundering. Ha? Tapos may mga mga security pa yung mga yan, possessing illegal firearms, ha? Kakuntsaba mga Filipino accomplices. Tapos nandiyan yung pagsusuhol, mga kabansa. Susuhulan ng immigration, ay, sus Mariosep, ha? May mga service fee doon sa mga walang dokumento at pati mga gobyerno at airport personnel have moonlighted as security escorts for POGO operatives. Ayan. Dito nga sa pinakita nating facility kanina, balikan natin ito. Ito po ay isang POGO na ni-raid noong March 14. 2024. Makikita niya isang police officer talking to foreign nationals after a raid in a 10-hectare complex of buildings in Bamban Town in Tarlac Province, north of Manila. According to the police, hundreds of people were forced to work in an online scam center in the Philippines. At in their assertion na rescue, rescue ang word na ginagamit ng mga but ano nangyari dito? Ang problema po kasi na Shanghai na Shanghai ang POGO inquiry, no? Aba, ay napunta ho kung saan. Nagkaroon ng circus, mga kabansa. Because another senator brought the investigation to the Senate Committee on Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality. At nagkaroon ng wild goose chase. At may tinatanggi. Tinatanggi. Pero may politika ho. May politika dito. Dahil sa picture dito, makikita nyo mga kabansa. Dito. Sa picture na ito, sino yung katabi ni Risa Hontiveros? Yan ho ang presidente dati ng Taiwan, no? Actually, nagkaroon na ng bagong eleksyon, tapos na ho kasi ang term niya. Dumalaw ho si Hontiveros sa Taiwan noong May 12, 2023. Pagpapakita ng kanyang silent objection sa People's Republic of China at kanyang pagpabor sa Taiwan. In fact, nung magkaroon ng bubo si Presidente Marcos, sending a congratulatory message to Lai Ching-te, yung bagong lalaking presidente ng Taiwan, siya lamang ang senador na hindi lamang sumuporta kay Lai, but also called for a review of the Philippines One China policy. Can you imagine ang kapal ng mukha ng babaeng to? The very foundation of our bilateral and diplomatic relations with what is coming up to be the #1 economy in the world today, gusto niya wasakin. O pagpapa-attention lang ba yan ni Risa Hontiveros? And now, ano nangyari? Nagkaroon ng wild goose chase dito sa investigasyon ng Bamban Mayor ghost citizenship and birth records. Kung saan na napunta. Na tinagurian ni Teresita Angsi na isang sarsuela ay na witch hunt. Mamaya, bibigay natin yung sagot ni Hontiveros dyan, no? Babalansehin natin, no? Pero, Ambassador Tiglao found it disgraceful for senators to be grilling Tarlac Mayor Alice Go as if she were presumed to be not a legitimate Filipino and connected to Chinese criminal groups operating the online gaming POGOs. Sabi ni Tiglao, senators are the worst. Senators are the worst investigators. as they pretend to be intelligent when most of them are obviously not. And they are fleeing and investigate. No? They have the tendency to grandstand and investigate to the peanut gallery and not to ferret out the truth. So ano, nagkaroon na opinion dyan si Senator Coco Pimentel, commenting that many issues ventilated by the Gatchalian-Hontiveros inquiries are better off resolved through law enforcement. Ayan, mga kabalsa. Through law enforcement. Bakit? Aba, nag-create ho yan ng lawmakers on both sides of the floor. No, bakit? Hontiveros and Gatchalian have been joined by some other senators, Loren Legarda and Rafi Tulfo. Hindi ko na nakuha yung kay Jinggoy. In badgering Mayor Go for explanation on inconsistent entries in her birth certificate, to which I find her answer, hindi ko po alam, plausible. I do not know. How would she know? Ganong, sino ba nagfa-file ng application for birth certificate nyo? Hindi ba tatay nyo? Oh. Mula nung sanggol siya hanggang maging 17, 18 years old siya. Noon lamang mag-18 years old siya, pinailan. 17 na siya. Ng late registration. So, paano niya malalaman yan? Oh, paano siya makakasagot? Tapos sabi sa kanya ni Legarda, robot daw siya dahil paulit-ulit sinasabi niya, hindi ko alam. Sabi nga ni Congressman Rodante Marcoleta, a much knowledgeable lawyer, advise Go to answer next time. I refuse to answer your question on the ground that I cannot see its relevance to your proposed resolution for legislation. Tapos ito si Rafi Tulfo told her to her face that she was a liar. Anong klase mga senador to? Because she could not have grown up in Bamban, Tarlac daw kung hindi siya marunong magsalita ng Kapampangan. Samantalang sa hindi nagbabasa ng Wikipedia itong babon na si Tulfo Kapampangan, sabi ng Wikipedia, is spoken by 1/2 of the population, followed by the Ilocano, spoken by 41%, mostly in the northern towns bordering Pangasinan. But everybody in Tarlac understands and speaks the Tagalog. And in fact, most Filipinos now speak Tagalog. So what is the issue? Tulfo? Karamihan ng mga townmates niya na kinausap ng media, yung frontline ba yun, said na nakita nila ito mula siya bata pa. Napakalat-kalat sa kalye. Defying common sense, the senator in a fishing expedition asked why her birth certificate was issued when she was only 17 years old. Again, I find her answer plausible. Hindi ko nababasahin dito yung inconsistencies ng mga PSA statistics. Babasahin ko na lamang yung statistics na nag-testify sa Congress. Itong si Mariza Grande. From 2013 to 2022, the annual average number of delayed birth registration was almost 1 million. And of the 111 million Filipinos in 2020, sabi niya, 3.7 did not have birth certificates or were not registered. Diyos Mariosep. Hindi ba dyan nga nang galing yung, Hindi nga ba dyan nang galing yung salitang putok sa buho. Putok sa buho. Kaya, alam nyo, nagagalit ang madlang people. Katulad nitong Chinoy na si Teresita Angsi. Ha? Many of her comments now are echoed by many of her friends. Tanong niya, why was the investigation of the Senate sidetracked? Nagsimula ito, iniimbestigahan ng Pogo, na which everybody is welcome because everybody wants to get into the inside story of Pogo. But now it has become a zarzuela, yan sabi niya. It's very irritating to see our senators with so many national problems going below decency and digging out dirt. Ayan, digging out dirt. Oh. Digging about boyfriends. Tanong, may boyfriend ka na ba? Ano naman ang koleksyon doon sa Pogo? Kasambahay. Dahil eventually, Go confessed that she was the daughter of his father with a kasambahay, housemaid. So ito yung mga Senate hearings na nagaganap dito sa Pamban. So kaya sabi ni Chis Escudero, and I'm happy he came into the picture, but dapat patigil na niya ito idirihin niya. Advise niya yung mga peers niya. No? Ang sabi niya, okay, pagpalagay natin dubious yung identity. But he noted that the burden of proof now lies on those alleging that she is not Filipino. Speaking in the vernacular, Escudero added, there is a basic principle in law. He who alleges must prove. He who alleges must prove. Oh. Those that are alleging that she is not Filipino must prove it. It is not up to her because there is a presumption of regularity of her papers. Because she has a birth certificate and a passport that has been renewed many times. So it's not for this mayor to prove her citizenship. It's for you, baboons, to prove something. At pagpalayan natin ma-prove nyo. Saan pupunta usapan dito? Kung wala na makita na tatay o nanay. Di parang kaso ni Grace po yan. Foundling. Dahil nandito sa Pilipinas, hindi nyo at patunayan nyo rin na hindi dito sa Pilipinas sa pinanganak. Sus, ninuno ko. Ang sabi ho na Korte Suprema sa GR 172822, basic is the rule in evidence that the burden of proof lies upon him who asserts it, not upon him who denies, since by the nature of things, he who denies a fact cannot produce any proof of it. Pagkakayo na ako sana hindi totoo, all you have to do is deny it. Hindi pwede sabi, magnanakaw ka eh. Pwede ba? Patunayan mo, hindi ka magnanakaw. Sira ulo mo. You're a baboon. Pero mukhang dito mas complementary pa yung baboon kaysa sa human weakness. At ang sa akin, not only in law, and if I may add, in ordinary everyday logic. And the way the questioning is happening is so accusatory that everybody is presuming that she's already guilty of something, that she has committed a crime. Risa Ontivero, sa lahat ng mga resource person mo, ginagawa mo yan. Ikaw rin, Tulfo. Mahiya naman kayo. Tapos pag hindi nyo pa gusto ang sagot, ikinukulong nyo, kinukontempt nyo. Hindi ba si Morales? Ano nangyari kay Morales? Oh. Inintriga ni Jingo, ipinakulong ni Bato de la Rosa. Ay, nako. What sickens me is the senator's incessant arguing from possibility to reality. Hindi pwede po yan. Pagka posible isang bagay, hindi ibig sabihin nangyari na. Pagka kayo may in-assume, hindi ibig sabihin fact na yan. Pagka kayo nagsuspecha, hindi ibig sabihin katotohanan na yan. O, pag umuwi si Mister, may babae ka, ano? Ha? O, sabi ni Mister, wala. Patulayan mo, wala kang babae. Sa labas. Paano magagawin? Hindi ba? Bisis. Kayo dapat ang magpatunay niyan. Ha? From investigating in aid of legislation to, ito nga, witch hunt, which Madam Angsi says reeks of racism and xenophobia. I am afraid that because of the incompetence prevailing in the congressional investigation nowadays, maraming information even taken under oath will insulate any resource person later on from being formally charged in court because the information has been extracted in violation of his or her constitutional right. So wag ho kayong masyadong agresibo. Baka ini-invalidate nyo na later on. Baka sabihin, hindi pwedeng tanggapin yan eh. Because you extracted that information violating her rights. O, patay ka na. O. At this rate, it's safe to assume that baboons are really better off taking over the Philippine Senate. Because in Article 3, Section 17 of the 87 Constitution, no person shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. And of course, the general rule of law that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. The presumption is on innocence, not on guilt. Oh. Senate should focus the issues to aid legislation. The irritable third jerkers as well as serves only to detract from the problems. Ayan, mga kabansa. Huh? Why is the hearing now about her? The hearing is about Pogo. Let's go back to Pogo, sabi ni Teresita Angsi. And let's all unite to get rid of the Pogos. Bad Pogo here in the Philippines. Ha? Pero sabi ni Aquilino Pimentel, agreeing with Madam Angsi, if warranted, appropriate cases should be filed in the proper agencies, and that is the court or an investigative body or a law enforcer. Pero alam niyo mga kabansa, what is really happening here? We are barking on the wrong chinoy. Yan ang problema. What is particularly curious in the midst of all this hoopla is why is Al Tenco, the chairman of the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, not even in the list of invitees as a resource person if this is investigation is all about Pogo. The life of a Pogo depends upon PAGCOR licensing. The heart of the Pogo belongs to PAGCOR, as this is the government corporation that regulates its activities. This is the reason why in the case of Pogo in Banban, PAGCOR has an office inside the facility. This is why the silence in excluding Tenco from all this investigation is deafening, mga kabansa. Presidential Decree 1067A established the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation to centralize and control all games of chance, generate revenue for infrastructure projects, improve tourism attraction, and eliminate corruption in gambling operations. Ha? Hindi pwede mag-operate yung mga yan. Ha? Kung walang PAGCOR. And offices inside these POGOs, may PAGCOR precisely. Hindi yung brinkmanship kung kailan lang meron ng halos mamamatay o aresto o gagawin. Diyos ko, kailangan mag-raid. In the day-to-day operations of this POGO, the regulation by PAGCOR should be ever present. O baka naman dahil si Altenco is one of Lisa Araneta Marcos's best friends forever. It is hardly publicly known na sila BFF mula pa noong 40 years ago since their school days sa Ateneo Law School, batch 1985. They were so close, both shared many memories with the Ateneo Balikatan Spiritual Group at saka yung mga outreaches na gustong-gustong punta mga projects nationwide. The intimacy speaks for itself. Tenco is a permanent fixture in the Marcoses couple's social life way before he was appointed chairman of PAGCOR. Oh. Eto, may dalawa akong picture dito showing Altenco in the first couple's oligarchic circle. Makakapasok ka ba dyan sa victory party? Ayan pa, oh. Yan si Rason. Andyan si Rason. Oh. Andyan yung mga malalapit pang iba. Hindi ko na babanggitin ang pangalan because irrelevant sa ating diskurso ngayon. Pero yan, minarkahan ko na ng circle. Ayan si Tenco. Oh. Ayan, mga kabansa. Last August 2022, Billionario announced that Marcos named his BFF, former Malolos Vice Mayor Altenco, as the new chairman of PAGCOR. Over Ram Antonio, Anton Lagdameo, and George Erwin Garcia. Of course, Lagdameo now is special assistant to the president. Garcia is chairman of COMELEC. And Antonio, brother-in-law ni Anton Lagdameo, was elected independent director of Pacific Online System. Lotto. Related sa gambling, mga kabansa, ha? Watch out. Which runs the country's biggest lotto operation with the Philippine Gaming Management Corporation. There is a pattern forming here. Alam niyo ang plano ni Altenco? To privatize all land-based casinos owned and operated by PAGCOR in the second half of 2025 so that the agency could just stick to its regulatory mandate. You know how much money he intends to raise? 60 billion. Thank you, Altenco, kung lahat ng pera yan pupunta sa gobyerno. No? Pero alam naman natin na may mga mauumisyon dyan. Ha? Alright. So be careful. Baka masilipan ka ng graft and corruption. This would allay any conflict of interest, sabi niya. When it comes to regulating private casinos, while this has been the plan even by previous PAGCOR chiefs, walang nakagawa nito, sabi da. But one of Tenco's platforms is to keep POGO sector alive. Ayan ang clash between yung aspiration na Gatchalian at aspiration ng Tenco. No? By the way, mga kabasa, pareho silang Chinoy. Ha? Obvious ba sa apelido? dahil it provides employment daw to 70,000 Filipinos. Obviously, the position is at loggerheads with a pending bill in Congress for the banning of pogos. Ayan mga kabansa. Maraming mga issues, no? Maraming mga issues. Bakit? Napakalaki po ng kinikita ng pogo. Napakalaki mga kabansa. From 2017 to October 2022, a period of 5 years, kumita ito ng 54 billion. 30, pumunta sa PAGCOR. 24, napunta sa BIR. In 2019 alone, collected taxes peak, isang taon lang ito, no? Ito yung ating golden year under Duterte. 14.5 billion ang collected taxes. Alam nyo, Pogo generated 7 billion in license fees, according to PAGCOR. NEDA also reported that that same year, Pogo contributed to 0.67% of the country's gross domestic product, earning 104.5. So, Win Gatchalian, you really have to be very, very strategic kung gusto mong pasarhan ng mga pogos. No? May mga tao ngayon na sinisiraan si Duterte. Pero alam nyo, Duterte had his hands full. There was a pandemic coming. Sasabay, pandemic ko, nagsara mga factories. Halos mabuki ang ating gross domestic product. Nobody was working. Everybody was at home. Tapos bibiyakin nyo pa ito. So, maraming konsiderasyones. So, yan ang mga kabansa. Wala namang problema dito eh. In fact, sabi ni Alteco, pagsasara siya ng 33 Philippine offshore gaming licenses with unpaid fees. Pero alam mo, Al, hindi lang naman yung fees ang pinag-uusapan dito. But you must really have a task force, make it all government, sama na immigration, kasama na ang foreign affairs, dahil nag-i-issue ng visa, kasama na ang police, kasama na ang marami dapat kasama rito. No? Pero ito mga kabasay, pagdating sa Bambang Pogo, medyo yata nawawala ang PAGCOR. On February 1, authorities raided Pogo Hongsheng Gaming Technology, allegedly because of cryptocurrency investment scam. At itong March 13, 2024, ayan na naman. No? In fact, may isa pa raw na hindi ko na na-record dito. Pang-apat na pala ito sa Mayo. Ang tanong dito ay papasadahan natin. No? Bakit nitong April 9, 2024, nakialam ang Malacanang dito? Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin directed the anti-money laundering Council to freeze and preserve the entire compound dyan sa Bamba. Nag-issue pa ng mga kabansa, no? Summary deportation of 499 foreign workers on the premises of Sun Yuan Technology. Wala nang isang kinasuhan, mga kabansa. Para bang takot sila na magkaroon ng mga testigo. Where is PAGCOR in all this? Isn't Altenco supposed to be on top of this? And if not on top of this, at least in the peripheral areas of all this. Because isn't it more relevant to find out why regulation only works at the brink of things irreversible, such as closure? If pogos of syndicated crimes appear puny in the face of high government officials disowning knowledge of her existence, I smell something fishy in President Marcos's personal interest in the case as he directed, while the Office of the Solicitor General to launch an investigation regarding Mayor Go's legal right to hold public office amid questions about her alleged links to China. Ha? Bakit ito napunta? Hindi ba kailangan nandiyan ang PAGCOR at the earliest sign of something? Of some infraction? Suspicion pa lang ng crime. But no, the Chelan seems to be more interested in greeting a town mayor, and so is Risa Hontiveros, and so is Lauren Legarda, and Tulpo, and Jinggoy. Isang town mayor whose relative influence to act as protector of syndicated crimes appear napakaliit. Mafia ho ito. Hindi ko kaya ng isang town mayor protector na. Ay, nako. It was the president himself who provided talking points for the Senate investigation. Paano? Marcos gave the signal to divert the issue from PAGCOR to a lowly town mayor. The president said, no one among Tarlac's local politicians has heard of Go prior to her winning the 2022 election. We've been investigating them. That's why we caught them. We raided the hub in Mamban and saw the document. Who is we, Mr. President? Question if these documents are real, and how was she able to run for mayor? What is that conviction of her running for mayor with pogo infractions? Tapos sa statement sa President, ito ang pinaka-smoking gun ko. The president who has been in politics since early 1990s went on. I know all the politicians in Tarlac, and no one knows her. We're wondering where she came from. How did this happen? We don't know. Oh my, he expressed support for the Senate investigation in Go and her alleged connections to an offshore gaming hub, as well as the Solicitor General's move to create a task force to authenticate Go's credential with hints of seeking quo warranto proceeding against her. A task force? Quo warranto? Why is Bongbong Marcos making a mountain out of a citizenship molehill? Tapos sasabihin pa nitong Minardo Guevara that his office acted motu proprio on his own initiative in starting an investigation on Go's case. Hello! Since the start of your appointment till now, ngayon ka lang namin narinig, ang dami mga OSG cases na dapat naasikaso mo, Guevara. Oh, fact-finding stage, gathering relevant information from the COMELEC, Department of Interior Local Government, Department of Education, Philippine Statistics Authority, Bureau of Immigration, among other. Why are you throwing the kitchen? Ang tanong ko, why are you throwing the kitchen at Mayor Go? Investigate your boy, Altenco. It's not remote na merong nakikialam dyan within 10 yards of your existence, Mr. Marcos. Ganyang kataas ang protektor ng mga pogo at mga sindikato. At hindi lamang yan dito sa programa ko sinasabi. Marami pa. That goes to agriculture, that goes to sweepstakes, that goes to many things in government that has something to do with finances. Investigate the Remulyas. Pakita natin ang slide. The Remulyas, a powerful political committee, reported richer by 7 billion. Dahil dito. Ito sa kaliwa, ang dating Comlandia. My God, sayang yung forest green belt no, no? Oh. Ito na ho siya after 2 years. Ito sa kanan. Alright, that's your private property. Hello? Huh? Pogo activities are happening inside that facility. Huh? Sino yung mayari niyan? Cavite Governor Jesus Crispin Remulla, Juan Victor and former broadcaster Gilbert. Huh? Oh. Si Juan Victor na pala ang governor ngayon at si Crispin na ang Justice Secretary. The biggest pogo cuddler ay hindi po si Alice Go, sabi ni Ding Velasco sa kanyang blog. She's just the tip of the iceberg. The real iceberg are the governor of Cavite and his brothers, the DOJ secretary, and the director of PAGCOR. Tingnan niyo mga kabansa. Ha? Director pa ng PAGCOR yung youngest brother nila, si Gilbert. Governor yung isa. Yan silang tatlo. At Secretary of Justice, na on top of NBI, on top of Bureau of Immigration, mga kabansa. Hello? Hindi ko nababasahan itong blog ni Ding Velasco. Alice Go is nothing compared to what and how the Remulyas in Cavite may be involved in pogo cuddling. Ang tanong, sino magpapaimbestiga sa mga Remulya? Ha? Sino magpapaimbestiga sa mga Remulya? O paano ba iimbestigahan ang kalihim ng hustisya ng dating COB na siyang biggest pogo compound sa buong Asya, mga kabansa? Bago ako magpatuloy, mga kabansa, magbabasa muna tayo ng mga messages, no? Dahil wala na tayong panahon. Tingnan natin kung may mga nagpadala. Ay, wala pala dahil tayo ay recording ngayon. We are on premiere. So anyway, let's bring this to the conclusion. Pero bago dumating yan, mga kabansa, pinapaalalahanan ko lang ho kayo dahil nabibinat ho itong issue ng COVID at saka racism, no? Ay please tulungan nyo naman po kami dito dahil ito lang aming hanap buhay. To order, text 0917-335-4366. No vaccine for a virus called racism. $7.99 po sa Metro Manila at $8.99 sa probinsya. Free delivery na kasama dyan anywhere in the Philippines. We are just offering this for sale because we are supporting some projects of yung Coalition Contra Guerra, mga kabansa. This book is about tracing COVID-19 origins as it unravels a cabal of bigotry and deception. No? But, since we're running out of time, let's bring this to conclusion. Let's play this tape, this video.
Nangyaring hearing? Ayun, sige, sagutin natin. Sige.
Sagutin natin.
Hindi po ako nagsisinungaling.
Do you think naging fair ang treatment sa inyo, Mayor?
Inyo confirm yung mga ari-arian. Meron. Paupo kayo.
Okay. Sabay-sabay lang kami sasagot.
Ma'am, do you think naging fair ang treatment sa inyo dito sa hearing?
No comment on the treatment, pero papatunayan namin na Filipino si Mayor Alice Go. Meron siyang birth certificate. Yung sinabi niya, totoo, yung nanay niya ay kasambahay. Tignan niyo yung birth certificate, nakalagay occupation ng kanyang nanay doon, a housekeeper. Meron siyang Filipino passport, wala na siya ibang passport. So now, the burden of proof transfers to the accuser. Napatunayan nila na peke yung mga hawak naming dokumento. Yung kanyang birth certificate, yung kanyang passport, ilang beses na po yun na-renew. Wala ho ibang kinikilalang bansa si Mayor Go, kundi Pilipinas lang. Ayaw nga niya magsalita ng dahil kahit anong pilit sa kanya. Dahil ang mother tongue niya ay Tagalog.
Sir, bakit hindi raw mahanap yung birth certificate ng parents? Ng nanay in particular?
Hindi, yun na yung hindi siya involved dun sa pagkuha ng kanyang birth certificate. Ang nakita niya, yun na yung inabutan niya. At yun ang sinagot niya. Buong tapang sinagot ni Mayor. Lahat ng tanong ng mga senador. Kita niyo naman lahat na binuhos kay Mayor. Pero hindi natinag si Mayor. Sabi niya talaga na Pilipino ako. At wala akong ibang bansa. Saan niyo ako i-deport? Diba? Pilipinas lang. Ito lang. At hindi niya iiwanan yung Bamban Tarlac. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat. Mayor, you confirm? Iwanan mo Bamban?
Sir, yung sinasabing pagsisinungaling po.
At ako po ay isang Filipino.
Oh, yun lang po.
At
Maraming
lalo
salamat.
na po, hindi po ako spy.
Okay, yan. Ulitin mo, Mayor. Ano sinabi mo?
Ako po ay isang Filipino at hindi po ako spy.
Thank you.
Ayan mga kabansa. I am not a spy, I am a Filipino. Masyado namang hine-hurt ang feelings ng ibang tao. Okay, ito po ang response ni Hontiveros. Kasi siya ngayon ang pinutakte ng batikos. Even the Manila Times, ito picture niya sa kanan. Tinawag yung kanyang proseso investigation in aid of shame. Sabi niya, this is not a witch hunt. This is not about politics. Bakit malihis? This is about national security. Bakit hindi i-refer sa Committee on National Defense and Security? Criminal activities. Bakit hindi i-refer sa Committee on Public Order? Accountability in Public Service. Bakit hindi i-refer sa Blue Ribbon Committee? The structural failure of our system. Bakit hindi i-refer sa Committee on Games under Lapid? To regulate POGO as a business model. This is not an attack on Filipinos of Chinese heritage, noting that my own maternal great-grandmother was pure Chinese. Yeah! But this is not your maternal great-grandmother doing all this bullying of a Filipino Chinese. And the burden of proof rests in your hands. Huwag naman sanang, figuratively speaking, you have blood in your hands, Risa Hontiveros. Tumahimik ka na. You have a pattern of this maliciousness. And openly, katulad nung nangyari doon sa isang Sus Mariomes na hearing mo, you already pronounced the person guilty. Recommendation pa lang yun. Recommendation pa lang towards a resolution. And if you want to seek judicial recourse, paano na? We are very happy this is your last term, Risa Hontiveros. We're very happy. You have been gambling with your with nothing in between your ears. You have been gambling and grandstanding as if you were somebody in that prestigious hall of the Lorenzos, the Tañadas, the Pelaezes, and all those prestigious senators that used to be present there. Pinapanood ko yan. Paano sila magdebate? Bata pa. Hindi na baling maglakad ako. That is a good 3 kilometers din yata. But okay lang. Pagka may free time ako, nandun na ako. And we will leave this podcast with this message. The best throw of the dice is to throw them away. Dahil po sa pangangailangan ng Pilipinas ng revenue, we are sending our manpower, our woman power abroad. We are exporting human resources. Because of bad governance of our economy, we resort to gambling as an accepted industry. Let us bring back the vision of Ferdinand Edwin Marcos Sr., who wanted to industrialize this nation para hindi na tayo nag-i-import pa ng mga components, i-assemble lang natin, tapos i-re-export natin, at ganyan mga factories lamang ang meron. Yung mga indigenous factories na kailangan dapat steel, copper, and so many other things, hindi natin inasikaso. And now, we have the highest electric bill in the world. And sumusunod na yung tubig. Our toll roads are becoming prohibitive na to travel on because of the exorbitant rates. Life is getting worse. And we are cajoling with a foreign country that is so far at the expense of a country that has been our neighbor ever since we got here in Southeast Asia. Hindi na ako pakakadako dyan. So the best throw of the dice is to throw them away. Don't gamble with other people's resources. Don't gamble with other people's fortune. Don't gamble with other people's lives. Ang pinaglalaroan nyo dyan sa Kongreso ay ang buhay ng ibang tao na may garantiya ang ating konstitusyon. We have a basic Bill of Rights. Bilangin ninyo bago kayo matulog, mga senadores at kongresistas. How many of this bill in the Bill of Rights ang inyong na-violate? At para kayo naghahari-harian dyan. Hello! I hope to see the day when you yourselves will experience the very same karma or gaba in Bisaya that you are putting on the shoulders. The shock that you are rendering the psyche of small people. Nawawala na ako ng naisabihin, mga kabansa, dahil masikip ang dibdib ko ngayon. Pero ito po inyong lingkod, Ado Paglinawan, na sa ngayon ay nagpapaalam na. Maraming salamat po at magandang araw, magandang hapon, magandang gabi sa inyong mga sa almang parte ng mundo kayo naroon.
It's time to go. it's time to go. Get ready.